Hello everyone, and welcome to my Phase 5 catch-up guide. The beginning of the video will mainly be for a fresh level 70 who would like to do dungeons, heroics, or maybe even raids. Later in the video, I'll explain what I will do to get into tier 5 and 6 raids, and last but not least, hopefully a spot in Sunwell so we can get our best in slot gear before Wrath of the Lich King. So when I hit level 70, then I usually check my reputation with each faction in Burning Crusade. If I'm honored, then I go there and buy the blue PvP rewards. These will be decent even in PvE when you start doing dungeons. Also make sure to buy the different heroic keys, because these you'll eventually need. But yeah, check the different factions and buy the blue PvP rewards. You'll be able to buy DPS and healing items in case your class can do this. You will not be able to buy any tanking PvP items that you can use for tanking in dungeons, but this I have a solution for. Simply head to the auction house, and if you have a bit of gold, make sure to buy some gear. What I recommend you to buy is for sure a weapon, either a rare or maybe even an epic weapon in case you have a lot of gold. A new weapon will be a huge improvement, especially if your current weapon isn't that great. This will allow you to do stuff faster, for example kill monsters and complete quests. And the gold that you get from the quest you can spend on new items from the auction house. Here's a quick example of what you can spend your gold on. For example, the Rage Steel set, amazing for warriors and retro paladins. It could also be the Fell Steel set. This is what I will use as a tank when I hit level 70. A lot of stamina, defense, but also gem slots in this gear. Amazing to start tanking in dungeons. If you haven't already leveled your profession, then I also recommend you to start doing this right now. Professions will have a huge impact on you catching up and getting into raids a lot faster. The reason for this is because in tier 5, 6, but also Sunwell, there will be a lot of different epic patterns, schematics and other stuff dropping for professions. This is great for new characters because you can buy these and then craft items that is equal to tier 5, 6 or Sunwell gear. So if you craft this gear, you will also increase your chance of getting into heroics or tier 4 raids a lot faster. Another reason to craft these items is because the materials are usually so cheap. People really don't need the materials any longer, and therefore you will be able to craft the epic items for next to nothing. If you don't have a profession, then you will also be able to buy some of these items anyway, because people that craft them might be able to sell them in case they're bind on equip. Therefore, you don't really need the professions, you can just buy a lot of these items on the auction house. The profession will just allow you to craft even more epic items in case you have a lot of gold. But what if you don't have a lot of gold? Well, then you should start doing high level dungeons and get your rare items from around level 68 to 70. By doing these dungeons, you will also gain reputation, and when you reach honored with the different factions, then you buy the heroic keys. In Shattered City, you will also be able to pick up a daily dungeon quest for reputation and a daily heroic quest for Badge of Justice. This is a currency that I will talk more about later in the video. So when you do heroics, the last boss will drop an epic item, and overall the loot will just be better. Therefore, you will also get better loot, and hopefully you will soon be able to do raids. If you're still not ready to start doing raids, then I have a solution for you. Simply start doing PvP. When you do PvP and do battlegrounds, you gain honor and BG marks. The battleground marks and honor you can use in Stormwind City as Alliance or Orgrimmar as Horde. This will allow you to buy gladiator PvP items, and even though they're PvP items, then they're insane in heroics and tier 4 raids. In phase 5 this gear will be upgraded, so now you'll be able to purchase merciless items. These items will be used even when you do tier 5 and maybe even 6 raids, so make sure to do PvP to catch up a lot faster, and if you don't have a lot of gold. Before I show you the remaining things that I do, then I have an important question for you. Do you plan to play your current character in Wrath of the Lich King, or will you reroll a new character and prepare in phase 5 or maybe even in the pre-patch? Let me know in a comment below this video. Alright, so in phase 5 a new PvP season will begin. This is going to be Brutal Gladiator, and I recommend you to do Arena every single week. By doing Arena you will gain Arena points, and these points you can spend on different epic items. You can for example buy the Brutal Gladiator gloves or the Hilton offhand. And you won't need many weeks in order to get these. You just do 10 arena games every single week. The higher rating, the more points you get every week. At this point, you should also be ready to do tier 4 raids. Head into for example Karazhan, Gruul's Lair or Magferiron's Lair. When you do these raids, you also get Badge of Justice. This is the currency that I talked about earlier, and you use them to buy different epic items in Shattered City. In Shattered City, you can for example find 2 different windows. This one sells a lot of different items that is equal to around tier 4 or 5 items. In phase 5, a second window will be introduced, and he sells way better items compared to the other one. So if you watch this video in phase 4, then I recommend you to keep your Badge of Justice for phase 5. I've made a video where I show all the different loot that you will be able to buy. You can find this video in the description below this one. I do however still highlight the weapons in this video, just to give you an example of how amazing they will be. Do you know what would also be amazing? If you would hit the subscribe button. A lot of you people watching the videos are not subscribed, and therefore you might also miss a lot of my content. For example, one of my upcoming videos, how I prepare for Wrath of the Lich King. In phase 5, a new location and zone is being introduced. This is the Isle of Quel'Danas, where you will be able to do the new raid, Sunwell, but also a new dungeon and heroic, Magisters Terrace. In this zone, you will also be able to pick up a lot of different daily quests. These will grant reputation with the Shattered Sun. You will also be able to gain reputation with the Shattered Sun in the new dungeon. When you reach the Void, you will be able to purchase blue rewards. For example, one of these weapons, that will be pretty much a weapon for every single spec and role. By the time that you reach Exalted, you will also be able to buy different epic items. There will be 2 different shields, one for Protection Paladin and one for Protection Warrior. You can also purchase 4 different necks, tanking, healing or DPS. Each neck also has a chance to proc additional things. For example, if you have chosen Eldor, you'll get the buff at the top. If you have chosen Scryers, you'll get the thing at the bottom. If you're wondering what Arcane Strike or Arcane Surge is for Scryers, then it has a chance to proc either damage, or if it's Arcane Surge, a chance to do additional healing. Last but not least, we also have the tanking neck that provides a buff for Eldor and Scryers, and this buff will last for 10 seconds. Like I mentioned, a new dungeon will also be implemented, Magisters Terrace. This is a catch-up dungeon, because even though it's going to be a lot of rare items that you will get in here, then these rare items is better compared to the other rare items that you can get from other normal dungeons. Also make sure to do the dungeon quest. This will allow you to pick an epic gem, but also the option to do this dungeon on heroic mode. Another cool feature is that the last boss will always drop an epic item. This is on normal mode, because on heroic mode all the bosses will drop epic items. This is usually not the case when you do normals or heroics in Burning Crusade. If you're wondering about the loot from the last boss in Magisters Terrace on normal mode, then you can see the epic items on the screen right now. There isn't going to be any epic weapons that you will be able to obtain on normal mode. This you will however be able to obtain on heroic mode. Else, like I've mentioned earlier, do battlegrounds and get merciless weapons. At this point, you should also be ready to start doing tier 5 raids. Make sure to head to Caverns of Time to pick up this quest. What you will need to do in order to complete the quest is to kill the final boss in SSC and Tempest Keep, and make sure to loot the quest item from the boss. When you have done this, you have also completed the quest, and now you have to head back to the quest giver. By completing this quest, you will also get reputation with the Scale of Sands. And because you hand in this quest, you will get enough reputation to choose an epic ring. There will be a ring for all the specializations, so tank, healer and DPS. And this ring you will also be able to upgrade as you gain more reputation with Defection. In phase 4, a new raid was introduced. This is Suleiman, a 10-man raid with only 3 days logout. So you will be able to do this at least 2 times every single week. Definitely a great way to catch up, especially if you mix it with doing tier 4 and 5 raids every single week. But remember to also do your daily heroics, and especially Magisters Terrace heroic every single day to increase all the epic items that you will gain every week. The next raids that you will most likely start to do is going to be Black Temple and Mount Hyjal, both tier 6 raids. These 2 raids you simply continue to do to get some better gear, but also remember to grind Badge of Justice to buy some catch-up epic items from the vendors in Shattered City. So yeah, that's also about it for today. I hope you found this guide useful. In case you would like to see more guides like this for example Wrath of the Lich King Classic, then make sure to stay tuned. As always, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Peace.